Anyway, thank you very much. I think this makes it better. Quickly, I've been tasked to just go through the summary of all the discussions we have had, and then we can agree on certain few points which we can say this is our way forward over this workers' rights workshop. I think we agree that workers have the rights simply because they are workers. This is what has been shared to us. Also that workers in the formal or informal need to unite and speak with one voice because they are all workers. Mm-hmm. We also heard that the state have a role to protect and promote workers' rights. Also that workers in the informal economy are particularly vulnerable because their rights are always abused, knowingly or unknowingly. We also note that workers' rights should be for both men and women. A workplace free of sexual harassment is what we really have to make sure we protect and promote. We also learned that employers need to create a safe working environment for the workers. Also, both employers and employees have wants or needs. We also noted that there is need for continuous engagement or collaboration, whether of the employers, the workers, through different forums, be it the workers' councils, be it the NEX, be it the TNF, and other levels of engagement which can take place. And also, unions need to take stock of the rights of the workers. As unions, we always have to take stock of the rights of the workers. And we also noted that the workers are not protected, especially in Zimbabwe, because of the condition of Zimbabwe. I think Dr. Chitambara gave me a lot of examples, especially when he talked about the old machinery which is being used in our industries. And we heard also from MCOs just addressing the same point. We are not sure whether it's a getaway point, but this is the truth which we have. Everything is going on the expense side, and at the end of the day, it's still affecting this person called a worker. And basing on all those points, there are many points which have come out in this session, but basing on some of the few which I've just highlighted now, we would like to come up maybe with 3, maximum 5 points which we feel are our takeaway points. Where is ZCTU we're gonna go, maybe beat it or council and discuss further and find another way forward around them. Also, where is ZCIEA, we can go and discuss them further at our level and find another way around them as we keep on the work of fighting for the rights of the workers. So I'll open up to those who feel the crucial points we can take away from this workshop. And you are free to share now. Can I open to the floor? I recognize, yes, my brother.
Sir, I think the homework given us by my group on the labor bill.
I'm not sure whether people heard you, but okay, the mic is coming through. Another hand, whilst the mic goes there, can I recognize another hand? Yes, I recognize you, brother. Another hand, because we just want to go fast. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I was saying the point raised by Professor Matuku around the need for labor workers to advocate for that issue that he said is in the current labor bill. I think it's something that we really need to pursue.
My comrade, I heard you, but I did not hear your point. Can you just speak direct to the point so that we write it down?
There was an issue raised, flagged by Professor Maduku, about a provision in the current labor bill that undoes the provisions that are positive therein.
Okay.
And we need to make sure that there is advocacy to remove that particular clause that takes away the other rights.
Oh. So I think we take note of that. Please, Secretary, let's take note of that point. I think that's where Prof. Maduk says, I'm not sure with him. Yeah, I'm not sure whether, but yeah, number, yes, there's a second end.
Okay. Just to add on to what he said, the clause has to do with termination or notice, and the other one is about a clause that's found in so many codes of conduct, which reads any act or conduct inconsistent with implied or express conditions of employment contract. It's also in SI 15 of 2006. That's what he said we should push for, to have it removed from the code. Yes, SI 15 of 2006.
I think before I make my point, basically it's a question of labor law reform, which these comrades are speaking to. Over and above that, I think we need to entrench and speed up social dialogue to address the issue of worker rights. Thank you.
Social dialogue. Okay, we are still going to be gender sensitive, but so far I haven't seen a late. Okay, can we give it? Then we'll come to you. Okay. I wanted the three, but
we were the ones.
I can't tell it. They say it was Wange Kuita. Thank you so much, SG.
Thank you. Like what Prof. Maduku indicated, that as ZCTU, as workers, we need to come up with a list of our rights which are not adequately provided in the Constitution, so that we advocate for them to be included in the Constitution. Thank you.
Any other last end from this one?
Okay. Greetings, everyone. My issue is directed to Comrade Mtambara. Dr. Mtambara spoke about the GDP, which is very low in Zimbabwe. I just want to understand whether or not if the government does they have any primary remedy or any lasting solution concerning the challenges being faced by the workers of Zimbabwe. Because you made it very clear that many challenges being faced by the workers in Zimbabwe are being emanated from the fact that the GDP in Zimbabwe is not good at all. So I think as workers we need to make sure that we push the government so that at least they will come up with a lasting solution to address these issues. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I think the conversation over the past 20 years has been the precarious nature of the work in the informal economy. And we moved that a step ahead by advocating for the formalization of the informal economy. Currently, there are teams across the country discussing around the strategies to formalize the informal economy. I would urge everyone, to partake in that process, because that will then make sure that our colleagues in the informal economy are also considered as formal workers, and the laws that are currently prevailing then applied to them and protect their workplaces. Thank you.
Okay, so to make that true, I cannot deny our
Thank you for respecting elders. Right, so from Prof. Maduku, and because it also dovetailed with the economist, I think Prof. Maduku was dissing the economist, but they spoke one thing which is speaking to the same issue. We need to rediscover our political power. Prof. Maduku says you can't change anything if you don't fight. Economists say you need to have political power and to build political alliances. So I think the main challenge for Labour at the moment is how do we rebuild our political power and build necessary political alliances. Thank you.
Thank you, Elder. The last hand. Dagushi Perekeza. The elder spoke about power, and earlier on they also spoke about, I think it was Dr. Shambara also spoke about the power that is in charisma. I'm not sure if we have to go to school to be trained to be charismatic, but we may need to do a research on that.
Thank you so much. I think on charisma, you can do good if we just copy you. You are an epitome of charisma. So basically my three big takeaways were one speaks to the issue of power which was spoken to, but it is how do we enhance the agency of the exploited to be able really to demand. The laws are there, the institutions are there, but the people are not doing anything to demand what is rightfully theirs. So it is the duty and responsibility of the same and the broad organizing platforms to ensure that the working class is organized. So we're focusing on enhancing their agency to demand what is rightfully theirs. Then the second issue really comes from the inspiration I always get from Fiona, even when I just see a face, has to deal with gender mainstreaming at our respective unions, workplaces and everything. Gender mainstreaming for people with disabilities, women, young people, I think it's a big responsibility. But I also agree to the third issue of the revival of the social dialogue platforms. When I think this tripartite negotiating forum is a platform that we have to have functional by any means necessary. But we can only get there if we have enhanced the engines of our people. If they're demanding it on a daily basis, they're making a lot of noise, they're making it ungovernable, they're making this country so difficult to rule without engaging the workers, then we can have a TNF. So I think those are my three recommendations.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. With that on board, I think I also have one point which I think will also add. Okay. Madam Facilitator is persuading me to give one more last person.
It's concerning the issues that I spoken to you about.
Okay, right. Right.
Should we proceed?
Yeah, right.
Okay, thank you. Okay, phase two.
Ndatenda mvudzi wangu wakanangana na Dr. Shambara. Handisi hangu sitereki munhu wezvemari yeeconomics, that from his address ndabva vataura nezvemataxes nezvefuel which affect production and the prices, no commodities. So my question to him is, if from his address you are saying our price of fuel in Zimbabwe, they are number 2 from Senegal. But I understand that our fuel in Zimbabwe comes from Zambia, so from Mozambique comes to Zimbabwe. from Zambia, they take their fuel from Mozambique to Zambia. But the fuel in Zambia is cheaper than in Zimbabwe. Yet in Zambia, cheaper than Zambia. So my question is, how come that fuel is cheaper in Zambia if you find Zimbabwe? Yet in Zimbabwe, I travel a less distance. I don't understand the economic Zimbabwe. Can you explain it deeper?
Okay, so I'll ask him to respond and then I'll take the mic to Dr. Shabana.
Okay, ili mvunzo wangu ndio kuti my presentation akanaka, but I'm concerned by something else. Sometime back we used to hear too much about TNF. Tulakuvunza kuti is this still existing? And kana ichita exist, I think there is also power in numbers. Now that labor force is constituting the 80% of the people, I think, in the form economy. In the Kungati, so says the chair. We need to fight I think we can make an impact. Still stands, is that animal still existing here? Because I know it's sometime big, but
I'm still going.
Let me start with a simpler one on fuel, the price of fuel. So the point about fuel was that the price is very high because of my taxes, my tariffs, the my duties on fuel. In Zimbabwe, they are higher than for the rest of the countries within SADC. Because recently, I know the Minister of Finance has adjusted slightly my tariffs, my duties. So the price of fuel has actually come down slightly, but in spite of that, we are still number one in SADC in terms of having the highest level of price in fuel. Yet, our fuel is also the least quality, the least in terms of quality. So it's a paradox. We have a high fuel price, but low quality, low fuel quality. So it's because largely to do with the tax structure, the tariff structure, the duty structure within our fuel sector. So that then increases the cost across the board, and it results in a loss in competitiveness and productivity within our economy. So actually Zambia and SADC has the lowest price of fuel. Their petrol is averaging about 97 cents per litre. Ours is averaging about 135 or 140 thereabouts. So it's really to do with the tariff structure or the tax structure within the fuel sector value chain. So, do you understand my point?
Yes.
Do you understand that? Yes. Ah, okay, thank you. Then the other one was on our incomes in Zimbabwe are low. What's the lasting solution? I think my concern now is that when you look at our expenditure structure and size, we're actually in a hole, if you want. Our expenditures are actually increasing very, very unsustainably. And we project that that trend is going to worsen in the lead up to next year with my elections, my by-elections, and also in the lead up to the elections in 2023. So we're going to see huge pressures on government expenditure. So for me, I would think in the short term, I think what we need to do probably, of course, government is not going to do that, to dollarize the economy, because that will instill discipline. But also it means government can't print money, which they need to do to win the election. So I think we are in a difficult situation, in a very immediate situation. But things are going to remain unstable. Why? Because we are financing that expenditure through printing money and through domestic borrowings, which are not sustainable. So it's always a tricky situation to change some of that, especially 2 years before an election. So for me, I think the best short-term solution would be to dollarize. Currently, about 6% of the economy is now dollarized. But even though most workers still earn their salaries in Zim dollars. But I'm not saying dollarization is the lasting solution, but that dollarization helps us to ensure there is stability, there is discipline within the economy. If you have a government that is not disciplined, and you have elections in the horizon, and you have a central bank that is not independent, that's a recipe for macroeconomic disaster. So that's the challenge. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc. Mike has left. He represents MCOS, but we have our newly elected president. Maybe you may want to take up the issue on the TNF.
Thank you so much. Indeed, TNF is in existence, and it's existing under an act that governs it. We take note of the concerns of inclusion of the informal sector to come and speak to the issues affecting their constituencies on their own. I'm sure it's an issue that has always been in discussion, and we have also been trying our level best to incorporate all the issues, but we take note of the concerns and they've rightly said.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Facilitator. I think the point I also wanted to raise was, I think there is need for the organizer of this program, or FES, to consider facilitating a leadership program for the ZCTU and ZCIEA, newly elected leadership, so that we synergize the way to go around issues of protecting the workers we represent. I think this is very, very important, because certainly we need each other. Ladies and gentlemen, lastly, we would like to thank Madam Facilitator